When friendship turns into forever, Dara and Jung's unexpected love story. What happens when years of quiet friendship suddenly ignite into something deeper, something no one saw coming? For more than a decade, Dara and Jung stood side by side in the spotlight, bound by camaraderie and laughter. But behind the smiles and easy chemistry, a different story was quietly unfolding, one that neither fame nor time could conceal forever. How did two of Korea's most beloved stars turn a long friendship into a love that feels like destiny? Let's uncover every beautiful twist of their story together. Here on Red Carpet Revealed. For more than a decade, they were the industry's favorite safe pair. Dara, the radiant star who conquered hearts as 2NE1 sweetheart before transforming into a style icon of quiet grace, and Jung, the quintessential Korean leading man, all warmth and gentleness, who always seemed to carry a smile in his eyes. To fans, they were friends. Nothing more. Two kindred spirits who supported each other through the highs and lows of fame, the kind of platonic, pure bond people admired but never questioned. They're like siblings, some would say. Others joked. If they ever dated, the internet would explode. No one imagined that someday, it actually would. It began, or perhaps, it shifted, quietly. There was no grand moment, no tabloid reveal. Just a subtle change in the air between two people who had already shared so much laughter. So many late-night calls. So many years of genuine understanding. You've known someone for that long. A mutual friend later told Red Carpet Revealed. You stop pretending. You see each other at your best. Your worst, your most human. And that's where love begins, not in fireworks, but in comfort. The story of Dara and Jung's unexpected romance didn't start with a spark, it started with peace. They met long before headlines ever thought to pair their names together. It was 2012. At a charity event hosted by a mutual friend, a quiet evening where stars mingled with fans under warm lights and cameras clicked at a distance. Dara was still navigating life after years at the top with 2NE1, balancing nostalgia with reinvention. Jung had just finished filming a historical drama that catapulted him into Pan-Asian fame. They were both in transitional seasons of their careers, grounded, searching, tired in that invisible way only public figures can be. She laughed at one of my terrible jokes, Jung recalled later in an old interview, smiling shyly. That's how it started. Over time, they became constants in each other's orbit. They met for coffee between shoots, exchanged gifts on birthdays, attended each other's fan meetings quietly, as friends do. It wasn't chemistry. One stylist said with a grin. It was harmony. But harmony has a way of growing deeper than melody. By 2019, the two had developed what the press fondly called the most stable friendship in showbiz. They'd weathered scandals separately, comforted each other through career frustrations, and cheered one another on without needing to explain. It wasn't until after the world shut down in 2020 that things began to change. Isolation has a way of revealing who truly matters. During those uncertain months, when schedules vanished and digital calls replaced red carpets, Jung and Dara spoke almost every day. Sometimes about work, sometimes about nothing at all. He was always there. Dara said later in a rare candid moment. When everything else felt distant, he felt near. They began sending each other playlists, songs that made them think, heal, hope. We both have old souls. She laughed once in a radio interview. Like music that doesn't shout. Somewhere between those quiet nights and unspoken care, friendship blurred into something else. The shift was so gentle, so organic, that even they didn't notice it right away. It wasn't love at first sight, said one person close to them. It was love after 1,000 hellos. By early 2023, whispers began to surface. Fans noticed small things, a shared bracelet, matching travel photos, a similar caption posted hours apart. Internet detectives, always alert, began connecting dots. It's just friendship, others argued. They've always been close. Still, something in their energy had changed. Their glances lingered longer. Their laughter seemed softer. They looked at each other differently, said a photographer who worked with both on separate campaigns. Not like actors posing for cameras, like people who forgot they were being watched. For Dara, who had long kept her private life fiercely guarded, this new chapter felt terrifyingly real. She had seen how public love stories could unravel under scrutiny. For Jung, known for his sincerity, The fear was the same, that what was precious could be turned into content. So, they did what they'd always done best, they stayed quiet. They continued to meet, talk, and build something private, away from headlines, away from the lens. For 2 years, they managed the impossible, maintaining love in a world that feeds on exposure. But love, even the quiet kind, leaves traces. In late 2024, fans spotted them at an art exhibition in Seoul, just the two of them, standing side by side before a painting of intertwined trees. The image went viral instantly, though their agencies denied anything romantic. The photo told a different story, two people, unconcerned with pretense, simply together. The speculation grew louder. Paparazzi followed. Tabloids speculated. And fans split into two camps, those who shipped them relentlessly, and those who insisted it was impossible. Then came the moment that changed everything. On a crisp spring morning in early 2025, Dara and Jung released a joint statement through their respective agencies. It was short, graceful, and disarmingly honest. For many years, we have shared a friendship that grew naturally into something more. We are grateful for the respect and understanding of those who have supported us as individuals and as friends. We ask for your warmth as we begin this new chapter, together. The internet froze. In an era of denials and damage control, their transparency felt almost radical. It's rare, wrote the Korea Herald. They didn't hide. They didn't dramatize, they simply told the truth. Within minutes, hashtags flooded every platform. Dara x Jung Il-woo. Friendship to forever. The gentle love story. Fans from all over Asia began reposting their photos, their interviews, their moments, not out of gossip, but celebration. It feels like watching two old friends finally exhale. One fan commented on Twitter. Another wrote, "They waited until love felt safe enough to share, that's beautiful." For weeks, the story dominated entertainment headlines. Yet, unlike typical celebrity relationships that ignite frenzy, this one sparked something softer, nostalgia, admiration, calm. They redefined what a public love story could be. Said entertainment columnist Park Mi-sun. No drama, no scandal, no performance, just sincerity. Behind the scenes, close friends described the moment of revelation as liberating. They'd been so careful for so long, one said. They just wanted to breathe. Still, not everyone was ready to celebrate. Some skeptics questioned the timing. Was it publicity before a joint project? Others worried about fan reactions from older, protective audiences. It's risky, said one PR executive. Romance can hurt marketability, especially for idols. But neither Dara nor Jung seemed concerned. Days after the announcement, they were seen attending a close friend's birthday dinner, smiling, relaxed, holding hands. Asked by a journalist if they had anything to say, Wu simply laughed and replied, "I think we already said enough." The simplicity disarmed even critics. Love story, so understated and organic. Became the antithesis of the usual celebrity narrative. There were no staged couple shoots. No reality show teasers. No orchestrated drama. Instead, there were moments, small, quiet, human. One evening, a fan captured a brief video of them walking together in Itaewon. No security. No disguises. Two people under city lights, sharing street food and laughter. The clip went viral with the caption, "They look happy, that's enough." And maybe it was. Because what drew people to their story wasn't spectacle, it was serenity. The idea that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. That sometimes the greatest surprise is realizing the person who's been beside you all along has been home all this time. By mid-2025, public interest had mellowed into warm affection. They're like Korea's calmest couple. One international magazine. Proof that love can bloom quietly, even in the noisiest world. As for Dara and Jung Il-woo, they continue their lives much as before, individually successful, collectively grounded. Dara resumed her fashion collaborations and music projects, while Jung Il-woo began filming a romantic film inspired by finding love late but right. He never confirmed the connection, but audiences understood. Come symbols of slow love, said cultural critic Kang Sara. In an age obsessed with instant chemistry, they remind us that real love takes time, and that patience can still be romantic. The article that broke their story would later describe them as the couple who made love believable again. And perhaps that was the truest thing ever written about them. Because in an industry built on illusion, the story felt almost radical in its simplicity: friendship, care, laughter, then love. Nothing scandalous. Nothing exaggerated. Just two people who finally saw each other clearly after years of standing side by side. As one friend said softly in an interview, "They were never pretending. They were just waiting for the right time to be honest about what everyone already knew. And when that honesty finally came, it didn't shatter anything. It just fit." The fairy tale wasn't about sudden passion or forbidden drama, it was about constancy. The slow, steady miracle of two lives quietly intertwining until one day, "There's no longer a line between me and you." By the time summer arrived, Seoul had already accepted them, not as a headline, but as a harmony. Because sometimes, the most unexpected love stories aren't the ones that burn bright and fade fast. They're the ones that take years to grow, until friendship turns into forever. When the initial wave of headlines subsided, remarkable happened: nothing. No scandal erupted, no backlash followed. Instead, the world seemed to exhale with them. Perhaps it was the sincerity of their announcement. Perhaps it was because fans had witnessed every chapter of their friendship for over a decade and understood this ending, or rather, beginning, was inevitable. For once, everyone just smiled, wrote Seoul Daily in an editorial the week after the news broke. Maybe because this love felt earned. Dara and Jung. Life didn't suddenly transform into a spectacle. If anything, it became quieter. Reportedly spent the weeks following their revelation out of town, retreating to the countryside near Gangwon-do. Officials described seeing them walking hand in hand by the lake, dressed simply, unbothered by recognition. They didn't act like celebrities. One cafe owner recalled. They acted like two people in love. Their agencies released no photos. Further statements. There were no orchestrated magazine covers or talk show appearances. Normalcy, said a close associate. After years of performing, they wanted to just live. Yet, the media couldn't help but watch, from a respectful distance. Entertainment channels called it the calmest love story in Korean showbiz. International outlets echoed that sentiment: a romance without chaos. Love in low volume. Public, their story became a breath of fresh air, proof that love didn't need to be dramatic to be real. In the weeks that followed, small glimpses of their shared life surfaced. Not through paparazzi, but through fans who happened to encounter them. A soft photo of Jung helping Dara carry groceries. A short clip of them laughing during a late-night stroll through Hanamdong. None of these were intrusive, they were moments of humanity that fans treated with care. Their fans protected them, said a journalist who has covered celebrity culture for 15 years. There's a sense of reverence, as if everyone collectively decided, let's not ruin this one. Perhaps that protection came from recognition. People saw themselves in their story, two longtime friends who found love not in spectacle but in stillness. It was relatable, grounding. They didn't chase the fairy tale. A fan wrote online. They built it, piece by piece. Their relationship, however, also opened a deeper conversation about authenticity in an industry long defined by image. For years, Korean entertainment had thrived on the illusion of unattainable idols, flawless, untouchable, forever single. Dara and Jung's story broke that archetype gently, without rebellion or apology. It's evolution, not revolution, said cultural analyst Kim In-jae. They're redefining love as something compatible with success, not contradictory to it. That's powerful. By summer 2025, the initial frenzy had faded into warm normalcy. Both stars returned to their individual careers with a visible glow, a serenity that fans described as love's afterlight. Dara resumed her role as a brand ambassador for a French luxury house, attending events with quiet poise. When asked in an interview how life felt after going public, she smiled and said, "Peaceful. Feels like breathing for the first time in a long time." Woo, meanwhile, began filming a slice of life drama about finding love after years of solitude. His performance, critics noted, had an emotional weight that felt lived in. He's acting from experience now. One reviewer wrote, "There's a gentleness in his eyes that wasn't there before." They continued to keep their private life private. No longer needed to hide. They attended charity galas together, sat side by side at fashion shows, occasionally exchanged teasing comments online. Not performing. An industry insider said. They're just being. Still, fame has its price. One evening in late autumn, a video surfaced showing the two leaving a restaurant. Barely surprised by a small crowd of fans waiting outside. Instead of rushing past, they stopped, bowed politely, and thanked everyone. Jung Il-woo even laughed when someone shouted, "Take care of Dara," replying, "I will." The moment went viral not for scandal, but sweetness. The way he looks at her, one fan tweeted. You can tell he means it. In a media landscape addicted to chaos, their steadiness became revolutionary. Entertainment editors began to write about the Dara Il-woo effect, how their story had shifted the tone of celebrity reporting. Articles about them were no longer filled with speculation or paparazzi shots, but essays about maturity, love, and time. "Are tired of noise," said Vogue Korea columnist Han So-jin. Dara and Jung Il-woo remind us that love can be graceful. That's the new trend, grace. While the couple's bond continued to inspire, younger idols cited them as role models, proof that authenticity and romance could coexist in the entertainment world. They didn't lose fans by being honest. One rookie singer. They gained respect. Even among the general public, conversations began shifting. Relationship announcements from other celebrities were met with less skepticism, more warmth. It's like they softened the culture, wrote El Asia. Made it okay to be human again. Still, beyond the headlines and admiration, there were moments unseen, the quiet pieces that made their love real. A close friend described one such evening, a small gathering at Jung Il-woo's home. Cameras, no press. Just a handful of friends. Dara brought homemade tteokbokki, he made tea. They laughed over old videos, sang off-key, teased each other. At one point, looked at her like the rest of the room disappeared, the friend said. And she smiled like she knew. It wasn't perfection. It was partnership. They disagreed sometimes, about schedules, about privacy, about when to speak and when to stay silent. But unlike the fleeting romances that often crumble under scrutiny, theirs was built on years of knowing each other too well to ever misunderstand intention. Fame teaches you to act, Jung Il-woo once said in an old interview. But friendship teaches you to listen. Maybe that's why their love endured. Because before anything else, they listened. By early 2026, their relationship had become part of Korea's cultural fabric, less a trending topic, more a modern legend. They weren't the hottest couple, they were the realest. Fans began calling them the Serenity Duo. Artists painted them. Brands referenced them. A popular romance novelist even dedicated her latest book to the ones who found love when no one was watching. And yet, through all the admiration, they remained remarkably grounded. Asked about future plans during a quiet interview, Dara simply said, "We don't plan far ahead. Just try to be kind to each day." Those words became a viral quote across social media, a mantra for people seeking balance in their own chaotic lives. As spring bloomed again, they celebrated the anniversary of their public announcement not with a lavish trip or brand campaign, but with something small, a photo posted on Jung Il-woo's account, 2 cups of coffee side by side. Captioned only with a white heart emoji. Received over 3 million likes in 24 hours. And said it all, they still choose each other. Still simple. Still beautiful. Still them. Beyond Korea, their love story continued to ripple through international media as an emblem of hope. But not every celebrity romance is doomed by fame. Time Asia wrote. They didn't just fall in love, they rebuilt what it means to love in public. And in doing so, they reminded the world that love, the quiet, patient, enduring kind, still has a place in an age of noise. Perhaps the most touching moment came months later. A charity gala in Seoul. When Dara took the stage to present an award. Dressed in soft ivory. Glowing under the spotlight. Thanked her fans, colleagues, and friends. And then, looking toward the audience, she added with a smile. The person who reminds me every day that kindness is strength, thank you. The camera panned, and there he was, Jung Il-woo, smiling back. The audience erupted in applause. It wasn't staged. It wasn't scripted. It was life, unfolding as beautifully as their story had promised. Outside the venue, as reporters called after them, the couple walked hand in hand toward their car, unhurried. One journalist shouted, "What's next for you two?" Dara turned slightly, her eyes soft. answered with that signature calm that had always defined her. Whatever comes, together. That single word, together, became the headline the next morning. And perhaps that was the truest conclusion to their journey. Not the glamour, not the confession. Not even the applause, but the enduring simplicity of two people who refused to let fame define their love. Because the secret to their story wasn't shock or surprise. It was patience. The willingness to grow quietly, to love honestly. Choose peace over performance. In an industry built on illusion, they reminded everyone that the most beautiful love stories are often the ones that unfold behind the scenes, where friendship turns to tenderness. And tenderness turns to forever. As Seoul's night lights shimmered across the Han River, a fan posted an image of the couple's reflection in those same waters. Riding beneath it. They were never acting. They were just waiting for their forever to begin. Under that soft glow, free from scripts, free from expectations, Dara and Jung began the rest of their lives, side by side. This story is dedicated to every quiet love that grows when no one is looking, to every friendship that endures long enough to become something more. To Dara and Jung, thank you for reminding us that love doesn't always arrive like thunder. Sometimes it begins as laughter, shared secrets, gentle understanding. Sometimes it's not a spark, but a steady light that stays. And when the cameras turn away, to the fans who protected this story with kindness instead of intrusion, who chose to celebrate instead of dissect, you gave love the space to breathe. You proved that empathy can exist even in the loudest corners of fame. To the storytellers, the stylists, the photographers, and the quiet witnesses behind the scenes, thank you for seeing the humanity beyond the headlines. And to the readers, thank you for believing that not every love story needs to be loud to be eternal. Because at its core, this wasn't a tale of celebrities in love. It was a reminder that even under the brightest lights, two people can still find something soft, sacred, and true. In a world addicted to spectacle, their story whispered something revolutionary. That forever isn't found in the spotlight, it's found in the spaces between.